Just scan a bit like the finer things in life. Just scan a bit like the finer things. Just scan a bit like the finer things in life. Oh, it's hard to complain. Everything is going my way. No clouds, no rain. Everything is going my way. Everything is going my way. Everything is going my way. Good times are here to stay. Everything's going my way.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be decluttering and organizing my kitchen. It is in dire need of it, both purging and also just organizing everything that we do use. But I'm currently standing outside on our back patio because we are having electrical work done inside. The kids are home, so it's very noisy in our home. So even though it's gonna be a little bit chaotic in there, once I'm done, our kitchen is going to feel so peaceful. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Before starting the decluttering process, I always try to clean my space first. Decluttering can be such an overwhelming and kind of chaotic process, even though once you're done, you feel amazing, but the whole process of it can just be kind of crazy. And so I really feel like it is totally worth it just to take a little bit of time beforehand to go ahead and tidy up your space and just make sure that you're starting with a clean slate. It makes everything way more manageable and just a lot less overwhelming, because whenever you do something that's really overwhelming, it makes it very easy to quit. And I don't ever like quitting a decluttering process in the middle of it, of course, because then you're just kind of left with a bunch of chaos. So because we are going to be decluttering my entire kitchen today, I'm just going to be making sure that I'm cleaning up the kitchen and tidying up the counters and everything, also putting away any dishes so I can go ahead and declutter those or organize them. And then I'm also going to be focusing on cleaning off the table, and I'm doing that because that is where I'm going to be storing all of the items that we're going to plan to declutter and get rid of.
Nothing's all you need. When you're stripped of all your armor, you can finally feel the breeze. We're living in the moment. We ain't got pockets full of money, but we're rich in other things. This highway is our living room. We're swimming in the mystery.
So as many of you know, we were recently sick. That's actually why I skipped an upload, I think 2 weeks ago. We ended up getting sick with COVID. We had not been sick with that the entire last 2 years, but it finally caught us and it was pretty rough. I don't know how many of you have actually dealt with COVID personally, but it was definitely a bit rough for us. And it's so crazy because I think some people get it really intense and then others like don't even know that they have it. So it's just such a crazy, crazy thing. If you or any of your loved ones have had it or are going through it recently, I hope that they're feeling better, and hopefully we can just all get some immunity to this, and hopefully soon enough it can be a thing of the past. And then I think we actually ended up getting something else, like another bug, maybe the flu or something, because we had COVID and then we were testing negative and we were still kind of having like some minor symptoms of that. But then we kind of like came down with something all new. I don't really know what it was, but it's been a rough beginning of the year. I just have to say it's not gone as planned at all, but it's okay. We're kind of like picking up the pieces and just continuing on now that we've had a few weeks of sickness in our home. But the reason that I wanted to kind of update you guys on that is because in my last video, it was a homemaking video, and I shared some of the paint colors that we were going to be painting in our house. Well, we were actually scheduled to have that done on January 10th. And because we got sick with COVID, we of course told the painters and everything, and they ended up postponing until the beginning of February. So I'm pretty bummed out that we got pushed so far, but I totally understand, and that's just kind of how things go. So we are still planning on getting everything painted in our house, but it's not happened yet, and I really just cannot wait to see everything so much brighter in our home. It's just gonna make such a difference. So as soon as that happens, I'll definitely update you guys, but as of right now, I think it's gonna be like February 7th or something like that.
We're sipping on sunshine, sipping on sunshine. We want to taste of this world as the offer. Unafraid, we were made to wander. We will never let it go to waste. No, we're never gonna let it fade. We want to taste of this world as the offer. When we run out of wine, we'll be sipping on sunshine. Sipping on sunshine. We're sipping on sunshine. We're just sipping on sunshine. I don't wanna write this song. Potato chips and coffee, deadlines never stop me. Club a woman, open door. Learning to negotiate, buying up some real estate. And you know when it's good, cause it goes so fast.
The very last thing to do in my kitchen before starting the decluttering process is just to wipe down the countertops. Today I'm just using my eCloth general purpose cloth to clean everything off. I feel like this is typically what I opt to use on a daily basis just because it's so convenient, and it's also able to disinfect the counters. But sometimes I do want to add a little scent as I'm cleaning, and so on those days I will just use like my favorite all-purpose cleaner or something. It just really kind of depends on whatever mood I'm in. The kitchen is all nice and tidy, so now we're gonna go ahead and start pulling everything out. I think I'm gonna do one cabinet at a time and like declutter and organize each cabinet as I go. I just feel like that's gonna be the most, I don't know, probably the easiest way to do it and the most efficient. So before we get going with that, I'm gonna show you what's inside all the cabinets and kind of show you where we're starting out. In the past, I have shared so many decluttering videos from our last house in Utah. I have actually done a whole house decluttering series. We did that right before we moved here to Arizona. So if you are kind of looking for even more decluttering inspiration and ideas and more organizing ideas, I will go ahead and leave that playlist linked down below for you so you can go ahead and check that out. But I typically like to declutter about once a year. Of course, like I'll do kind of random declutters throughout the year. I'll kind of get rid of different things here and there, but I really love to do one full declutter on pretty much every room in the house, or at least most of the rooms, or at least like the troublesome areas. I like to do that at least once a year. It just helps me kind of go through everything, clean everything out, reorganize anything that needs, and then of course get rid of anything that we are not using and kind of clear our space a little bit. This is one of my worst cabinets. It's our drink cabinet, or like our cup cabinet, and it's just really gotten overrun. So this is a huge one for me. And then honestly, like some of the like junk cabinets, I guess, not junk, but like they're just not organized. And then a bunch of my drawers are rough. So let's tackle this one next. All right, who else has an extensive mug collection? Mine is totally unintentional. I wouldn't say that I collect mugs or anything, but clearly I have way too many. I just kind of accumulate them. I think because they're pretty affordable typically. It's just something kind of like fun to pick up at the store when you're out or something, or if you see something online. But I definitely needed to just really go through them and be a little bit more picky and just only keep the ones that we really love, the ones that we're always grabbing for, and let the rest go to someone else that could use them. And I have to say, this has been one of the cabinets that I just dread opening up whenever we're putting dishes away or whatever. It's just so overflowing. And just like anything else, just like when you're cleaning, if you can find a domino chore or a domino area to go ahead and tackle first when you're decluttering, it works just the same. So if there is like a really big area that really stresses you out every time you mess with it, go ahead and try tackling that first, and that way you can see that problematic area and the finished product of that right away, and you can kind of use that as a snowball effect to go ahead and motivate you just to continue on. So in this cabinet, it looks like I have a ton of random dishes, but we do have outdoor dishes and daily dishes, and then also servingware all in this cabinet. And the outdoor dishes aren't breakable, and since we do spend so much time outside, I really like having two different sets of dishes. But one tip that might sound kind of funny or weird coming from a decluttering video is to not over declutter, or don't declutter something just for the sake of decluttering. I have definitely done this in the past and kind of gone too crazy with decluttering, and I get rid of too much, and then it just kind of ends up leaving a void, and I find myself wanting that item back and usually repurchasing it. Definitely declutter anything that you're not using. Be real with yourself. Try your best not to hold on to everything, but at the same time, if you really are using something and you have the space for it, don't just go crazy and declutter everything, because often you will end up regretting that. So that's just like one of those random little tips, but I am sharing that from experience. Don't declutter just to declutter.
You and I will be fine. We belong together. You and I will be fine. We belong together. You and I will be fine. We belong together. You and I will be fine. We belong together. Nothing is better than you and I together. I just wanna stay until the morning sun. Lay here forever, you and I together. I just wanna stay until the morning sun. 'Cause nothing is better than you and I together. I just wanna stay until the morning sun. Lay here forever, you and I together. I just wanna stay until the morning sun. I just wanna stay until the morning sun.
In some of these cabinets that you see me tackling right here, you'll see I'm doing a little bit less decluttering and actually more cleaning and reorganizing. And that's because, like I mentioned earlier, I really like to declutter at least once a year. And some spaces, I'm fairly good at not repurchasing items and just kind of reaccumulating things. Others, like my mug cabinet, not so much. I definitely need to work on that one. But it is really nice when I am decluttering these spaces to still just make sure to go through these areas, even the ones that I don't think really need them, because it gives me the opportunity to wipe everything down. And also you might find one or two things that you don't use in those cabinets, and those few little items really end up adding up.
We'll make it through. We got soul, we don't need 'em. Hearts of gold, need no reason. Run into the night. You and I. Take my hand, we'll keep dreaming. Drive all night, chase the feeling. All I need in life is you and I. You and I. You and I. You and till we reach the stars, sing like the world is ours. Do what we wanna do, not what they taught us to. Jump, no need to fear. Stay, we got it all right here. Do what we wanna do, I know we'll make it through. We got soul, we don't need 'em. Hearts of gold, need no reason.
Once again, I am looking to you guys. You guys always have the best tips to share with me. So I actually wanted to take out the sticky drawer liner that the previous owners had added into these drawers, but I think they've just been on for so many years that they were actually leaving a really sticky film whenever I started to pull them up. So I left them for now, but eventually I do want to go back and just tackle those drawer liners. But if you have any tips on how to get rid of the sticky residue without ruining the wood in the drawers, definitely let me know in the comments. I would be so grateful to hear any of your tips that you might have for this. So I think some spaces really don't need organizers if they're empty enough, like some of my cabinets up above. But for drawers or for really overfilled cabinets or things that have like a lot of small items, I just find that for me, it does stay so much nicer, so much longer when I kind of heavily organize them into small little compartments. And I just have a specific space for each item. So for example, in like my utensil drawer, I really love these organizers that I picked up from IKEA. They have so many small organization slots and it just works so well, just having every little item have their own spot and things don't get shuffled around in the drawer that way.
I got roses in my eyes. She's got a heart full of sunshine. Standing on your doorstep, black bow tie, your red dress burning, sweat dripping down my spine. Ooh, ooh. Just scan a bit like the finer things in life. Just scan a bit like the finer things. Just scan a bit like the finer things in life. Oh, it's hard to complain. Everything is going my way. No clouds, no rain. Everything is going my way. Everything is going my way. Everything is going my way. Good times are here to stay. Everything is going my way. Your shape's so perfect, yeah, you got me like ooh, 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 ooh. Just scan a bit like the finer things in life. Just scan a bit like the finer things. Just scan a bit like the finer things in life. Oh.
Okay, we are making quite a bit of progress. I have all of these cabinets gone through, all of these cabinets and drawers gone through. A lot of those I didn't really have to do much to, because I've decluttered quite a bit in the past, and I think I've learned in some areas not to replenish some things. So in some areas it was not too bad, and then others like these, like I didn't have to do much to it other than kind of clean it up with shelf liners. But I'll show you my stash that I have going on so far on the table, and then we're gonna start working on that whole section is really rough, and the butler's pantry in there is pretty rough. So I'll turn you around, show you what we got so far, and then we'll continue on.
You got me going up, I'm not ever going down. It's hard to complain. Everything is going my way. No clouds, no rain.
If you've been here for a while and you remember, shortly after moving in, I actually set up this cabinet off to the left with a full school lunch section. I had done the same thing in Utah and it worked out really well. But right after I had organized this area, we ended up finding out that school lunches were free this year. And so our kids will sometimes take lunch from home, but typically they're just eating hot lunch at school. And so this little area just does not get utilized. And so here I'm just going to kind of downsize it and make sure that I'm not just keeping everything that we don't really use or need. Oh gosh. All right, no judgment. These are our 2 junk drawers. I know, we had 2 of them, it's ridiculous. But I really wanted to not only declutter these, but actually do some intense organization so that this drawer stood a chance on staying functional. And you'll see that in just a minute, but I first started out by pulling everything out of the drawers and wiping it down, of course. And as I was pulling everything out, I sorted things into 3 different piles. One was for keep, one was for get rid of, and then one was for putting things away where they actually went. So I found these customizable organizers on Amazon, as well as this little battery organizer. Both are saved in my Amazon favorites, which are always linked down in the description box. But I love this battery organizer because we have batteries floating all around the house, but no great space to organize them. And it also has like a built-in tester, so we can actually test if any of the batteries have gone bad or if they're old batteries. And then as for the other organizers, I really love that they were very customizable. They came in all different shapes and sizes, and they were actually really affordable for how many you got. Like, it was way better deal than going to Dollar Tree. They can be organized in so many different ways, and I really love that they had so many small compartments. And that's what I was talking about earlier. It just makes such a difference when you have a lot of little items like this, that every individual item just has their own space. It's amazing how much longer things will stay organized when you do it this way.
Here we are, on the edge of mystery. We long for a life of new discovery. Focus our eyes on the journey, stepping into the unknown, waving goodbye to our worry, and we're ready to go. We're
Moving on to our second junk drawer, which I'm actually going to be converting into a tea drawer. We love having herbal teas, and so since this was right below our Keurig, I thought this would be the perfect spot to keep all of our teas. So I'm just using these little customizable dividers. As you can see, you can really make them fit whatever space you have and move the little dividers to fit whatever space you need. But I love how this drawer turned out. It's so functional, it looks really nice, and it just worked out so well.
Here we go, dive into the great unknown. Has stories waiting to be told. The earth is bursting with color, our hearts are open wide. The stars glow in wonder, we are so alive.
So it is a new day. I had to actually put the kitchen on pause last night because Luke had football practice and I had to end up taking him. And then by the time we got home, it was just way too late to continue on. So I figured I would go ahead and just start fresh today. But as you saw, we got a lot of the cabinets done. We pretty much just have like these upper cabinets right here. I actually don't think I have anything in that one because I can't really reach it. So I do have to tackle those ones. And then also, coming into our butler's pantry, I have to tackle basically all of that because I didn't get in here at all. So we have a few upper cabinets up here, and then also these drawers are quite a mess. And then I think down below is just really like not well utilized space. And I also, oh my gosh, I got a new bread box because this bread box has been driving me nuts. Like, at first it was working really well, and now it's like such a struggle. You pretty much have to do it two-handed. It's just like a whole thing. But our cats get into our bread if we just leave it out on the counter. But anyway, I got a new bread box, so I'm going to be organizing that and just kind of going through and making sure that the counter space and all of this is nice and organized and of course decluttered. So we have a little bit more to do today, so let's go ahead and jump on into it.
Try to get some money for some stuff that I need. Swear the ATM machine was laughing at me. Your girl, been running on empty, but I don't let it affect me. There are days that I consider moving back home, but every day I do, my gut keeps telling me no. Your girl, been running on daydreams, but that's That's just how my brain be. I don't need your doubt. Nope, I don't need your doubt. Hey, just chill. I got all the time to kill. Yeah,
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to pause on this cabinet because this is where like I just have not organized so much in this kitchen. Like this cabinet is kind of like where we used to keep a lot of like the drink items and random things like that. Let me see. This pretty much has like my like snack stuff. And then I have like some gluten-free snacks in here and like, I don't know, random other stuff. Some supplements, whatever, just all the things. So we used to have our Keurig right here, which is why we had all the drink stuff. But then I felt like that space over here was just more, it made more sense to have the Keurig and everything over there, and we really like that. So that's why I think I'm gonna move all the drink stuff over here. So we're gonna pause for a minute. We're gonna start working on this cabinet right here and kind of move things over, and then we'll continue on.
It's only good vibes, good vibes. So when I can't pay the rent, I got nothing in my fridge. Got no doubt, yeah, things always turn around. Yeah, I got good vibes, good vibes.
These cabinets that I'm working on right now have felt so random ever since moving in. And like they kind of lacked an obvious purpose, but when I'm done with them, they are going to be set up in a really functional way and be organized for easy use. It feels kind of like I'm cleaning out multiple junk drawers today, but I am really gaining so much useful space.
Love's a silver lining. Don't at me 'cause I'm smiling. I don't need your doubt. Nope, I don't need your doubt. Hey, just chill. I got all the time to kill. Yeah, I got good vibes, good vibes. I'm too blessed to give in to any stress. It's only good vibes, good vibes. So when I can't pay the rent, I got nothing in my fridge. Got no doubt, yeah, things always turn around. Yeah, I got good vibes, good vibes. Sing it with me, every little thing is gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Sing it with me, every little thing is gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Rip a page out of the book, a lot from Sir Bon Jovi, and just take a second, take a breath, don't worry, just be happy. All that you got is a day, don't got a second to waste. You have a mission to listen to the brain you've been given, now you got a future to take. Yep. Ooh, you ain't failing if you're trying, and ooh, gotta believe the future's brighter. You owe it to yourself to do what only brings you joy. So shut up all that noise, yep, shut up all that noise. Hey, just chill, I got all the time to kill. Yeah, I got good vibes, good vibes. I'm too blessed to give in to any stress. It's only good vibes, good vibes. So when I can't pay the rent, I got nothing in my fridge. Got no doubt, yeah, things always turn around. Yeah, I got good vibes, good vibes. Sing it with me, every little thing is gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Sing it with me, every little thing is gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
I would love to know if you have any decluttering or organizing projects you're planning to tackle in the coming months. The new year is always so motivating for me and just inspiring to kind of transform your spaces and aspects of your life. So I definitely would suggest just taking advantage of the new year. I know it's really the same as any other time, but it really is just like a fresh start. And I just think if you're feeling a little bit motivated, just like you get motivated to deep clean your house in the spring for spring cleaning, do the same thing with your home in the beginning of the year and just go through and declutter things, organize things, and just make your space in your home what you want and what you need for it to serve you best.
Waking up, you're pulling me right in. Rotate to you again. I'll live the rest of my life by your side. I wanna stay here forever. Playing it all like the radio. Don't see how it could be better. All I know is don't let go. Stuck in a head rush about it. We're spinning fast, we're moving slow. I don't know how, but we found it. Something good, you don't fight it. When you're with me, nothing else matters. On gray days, I live in your laughter. I collide with your heart, I'm seeing stars. I let go of the past, I know this too shall last. Now I've been waiting all day to let you know that I wanna stay here forever, playing it on like the radio. Don't see how it could be better, all I know is don't let go. Stuck in
So the last cabinet that I organized has a lot of like my snacks or just basically anything that's totally gluten-free. That way I know that if I'm going in there, I can have anything in there and I don't really have to worry about it or check the labels. Also, it won't get eaten up by the rest of the family, which is nice since they don't really eat gluten-free. But this cabinet is going to be mostly storage around the house and just things like light bulbs and random things like that.
feels like home, it's supernatural. I wanna stay here forever, playing it on like the radio. Don't see how it could be better, all I know is don't let go. Stuck in a head rush about it, what's spinning fast, we're moving slow. I don't know how, but we found it, something supernatural. This space between
Here, I'm just taking a few moments to put together that bread box. I love this one so much. I wish I had found this one before I had ordered the other one because like I had showed in the beginning of this video, that other bread box was just a struggle. I really loved it at first and it quickly just kind of became something that didn't really work very well. And this one is so amazing. I'm loving it so much.
feeling every spark, shock to my heart, see my blood rush running. Staring at my hands and making big plans. You and me started something just to watch my mind go wild. A hurricane inside, tearing through my chest so loud. Can you hear my heart right now? This is bigger than
These organizers right here are one of the things that I was most excited about for the entire kitchen. I've actually had them sitting in my Amazon shopping cart for months and I finally got them for Christmas and they have just totally transformed this drawer and I really actually want to try the same style ones for my foil and parchment paper. So I'm not sure when I'm gonna pick those up, but I'm really excited for that just because now that I've seen all the difference that these bamboo organizers can make in all my drawers, I just cannot wait to finish transforming the rest of the drawers that I didn't get around to today.
all night. On my face to face, a high speed chase. Feel my blood rush running. Staring at your mouth.
These dividers are the same ones that I used in the tea drawer. I really just love how versatile they are. If ever I want to change things out and use them in a different way, I can just move them to another drawer, use more of the little sideways dividers. I really love anything that's very versatile like this because if at some point they don't become functional in this space, I can always move them around. I'm not like wasting money or having to buy new things. I can use them in a different way and give more function to another space.
You find me. Yeah, you really keep me up all night. All night.
Here are some more cabinets with more random things put in them. I ended up actually decluttering enough and consolidating the rest of the items in here and just organizing them in a way where I had enough space to empty out an entire set of cabinets. And I'm loving that because I don't really know what exactly we're going to use for that. Maybe we'll use it as like pantry overflow or organizing different upcoming projects. I'm not really sure, but it's always nice just to have like that full-on extra space. And I'm really happy that I was able to organize this in such a nice way that I was able to grab that much extra space now. So here are all of the before and after shots. As you can see, I'm not sharing every single cabinet just because you guys would be here for several more minutes. But I wanted to share like all of the biggest transformations or some of my favorite spaces that we did today. It is so incredible to see the difference and just feel the difference in our kitchen. I feel like it's able to breathe a bit. I feel like everything is really serving us very well right now. And I love that we were able to accomplish all of this. It just makes such a huge difference in like our daily life in our kitchen. So before the video is over, I did want to share one more quick tip with you guys. I typically share this in like all of my decluttering videos just because it's something that has really stuck with me over the years. But whenever I'm decluttering, a lot of times I'll kind of grab onto things and I like don't really want to get rid of them. Not necessarily because I love the item, but because I had spent money on the item or I had purchased it in the past and I felt like it was wasteful to get rid of it. But my tip for you guys is don't keep something because you spent money on it in the past or because you feel like it's wasteful to get rid of it. If you are not using it and it's not serving you now, it's going to continue to cost you. It might not cost you monetarily, but it's going to cost you the time that it takes to clean it or take care of it. It's going to cost you space in your home. And it's also going to cost you that stress of always feeling that guilt whenever you see the item that you're not using it. So if you are not using something, just let it go. Know that it can go to someone else and they can actually get good use out of it. And in the end, you are going to gain so much from that. You are going to gain more space. You are going to gain more peace of mind, and just overall you will be happier without those things. So anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you lots of decluttering motivation, lots of organizing ideas, and some cleaning motivation as well. And of course, I hope you enjoyed the company today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. If you are not a part of the family, I would love for you to subscribe and join the family and just not miss out on any future videos that I share. I have lots of new videos planned for you guys and I cannot wait to share them all. I hope you have the most amazing day and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.